We'll beat you in Perth.
Here we go.
I said something, mate. We got Will Skelton back.
Did we let you back in? I feel there's a bit of that. However, I'm not being so disrespectful to say that this Australian side isn't good enough to come back.
Our Lions, the rest of the AFL, I know it's only a little game played in Australia, but it's enormous.
DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
It is always a joy. It is always a pleasure. And it has been a fair while now. I've been on holiday. Welcome to the DSPN. If you can click that subscribe button for us on the YouTube channel, we'd love you. We're close to 16,000. We want to get to 20 by Christmas. Long-winded way of saying welcome to our good old mate Marto, who's also on holiday at the moment, and you're on the island. And so the internet links, it's a little bit like the All Blacks defence, a bit dodgy at times, but we'll accept it. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Well, I've been away. I haven't had to get up at 3:30 a.m. for 4 days in a row, so I feel bloody great. Apart from I'm drinking too much, but that's a personal problem that I'll deal with myself.
Do you know what we got a memo around work today? It's called Sober October. Yes. And I just say, hang on a second, didn't we do Dry July? What do you mean Sober October? What?
Well, I hope this doesn't reach Australia. It'll be devastating for the grand finals. Oh, God, October. Why do they call it Sober October? Why didn't they just go with October?
Yeah, probably not. Let's talk about that Bledisloe test before we do anything else. Obviously, you're on holiday. You're in a muscle singlet, mate.
Yeah, I had the nail bag on. I'm making a beautiful garden bed for my wife. There you go. That's true love. Mm-hmm. What's my love language? Doing stuff. There you go. I don't know if that's an official one, but he's very appreciative.
Tell you what, honestly, mate, when you invent your own list and don't have to get handed that list, I mean, that is what true love in a marriage is about, is it not?
Something like that. No, mate, that All Blacks test match, we could have beaten you last weekend. Yeah. Are you guys coming down to our level or are we rising? I haven't been able to work that out
so
yet. I think maybe you're coming down.
I had Justin Harrison on the show yesterday. What a great rugby brain that guy is, Greg. He really does think about it. I couldn't believe that he'd only played 34 tests. And when I say only 34, I also couldn't believe that line-out take where he snatched it from Martin Johnson to win that test and the series, that was his debut game.
That's right. It was incredible that they had the courage. Well, you think he had David Giffen, I don't remember him, and Nathan Sharp and John Eales. It's pretty hard to get into the Wallaby team. What he did do, I don't think there's many second rowers think as much about the game as he does. Like there's a lot of them are just, a lot of it's just push and shove and hit people, etc. No, he probably had the brain of a back, but he was trapped in the body of a second rower. So, no, he's good. What did he reckon? Did he reckon the Wallabies could have done it?
Yeah. I don't know if he said that they should have done it, but look, you know what? This is from our perspective as always, and it's always an All Black perspective, and it's always a perspective where we think, you know, we go into every game thinking that we should win that game and we are a better side. Biggest concern is, and this has happened now against Argentina after Cordoba, it happened against the South Africans, even at Eden Park, it happened against you blokes. We get a lead, and this All Black side, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to be able to shut a game down with that lead. At 20-3 after half an hour, it was like the Springboks at Ellis Park when they had 22 points on you. Normally, you'd expect these two teams, the Boks and us, to shut those games down. So did we let you back in? I feel there's a bit of that. However, I'm not being so disrespectful to say that this Australian side isn't good enough to come back. But you guys perhaps leave yourself a bit too much to do at times like that.
Oh, that is so true. We can't keep doing it. And look, Broncos in Rugby League are becoming very similar to that. They'll give these teams these big starts. You can't bring the All Blacks down after that. We were lucky to get close, to tell you the truth. But, we are getting better. Those Lions, the win against the Lions gave us faith, and then against South Africa, we're getting faith in this crew. Joe Smith has introduced so many young guys into that team, and he's brought them in, gone, oh, he's okay. No, he's rubbish. So he's had a lot of shuffling, and I think we're getting close. We're getting real close. We lose. Do you realise James Slipper playing his 151st test this weekend?
Crazy.
That'll be his last test. So we've got a big hole to fill there. But as he said, I've got to leave somebody else in the run-up to the next World Cup. I've got to leave room for some of these young guys to get time in the saddle. So a pretty classy decision from him. He's a wonderful fella. Mate, we'll beat you in Perth.
Here we go.
I said something, mate. We got Will Skelton back. Mm-hmm. He will. You guys Well, you weren't able to absorb a lot of that pressure in the second half. Wait until Will Skelton and Tupou actually play properly. Well, that's my hope, as always, but I'm seeing some really good green shoots here in Australian rugby. They're finally putting it together.
Well, I think it was 2019 that you beat us in Perth. It's a strange place to go and play rugby, isn't it? It's just, when I think of Perth, I think immediately of the Wacker, which doesn't exist anymore, and I think, one of the worst places any test team, if you aren't Australian, can go and play. I don't, every now and again, they play an Origin game there, which is just strange. And this particular test, out of all the places, as you say, to go and play, it should be in Cities, it should be in Brisbane, but if it was, it'd clash with the grand final this weekend, I suppose. But I think that Perth thing is the unknown for us.
It is, but I did so many Force games over the 10 years when I was commentating, having to go over there every second weekend. And you go, where are these people from? They're all South Africans. There's so many South Africans because it's the first place they land. Oh, this looks like a great place. There's heaps of them there. So there's heaps of rugby fans there, and there's heaps of Kiwis. It's quite extraordinary how many Kiwis. You'll have good support. And the reason it's played there is all money. We've got to make the Force happy because Australia's second richest man owns the Force, or runs the Force. So Twiggy Forrest. So we need to make them happy. The stadium's a ripper, though. Plus, we've had a bit of success there. So, I know it seems weird to you, but what was weird last weekend was running an All Blacks at Wallabies test 20 minutes into the AFL Grand Final. That was ridiculous. Yeah, every Australian, even people like me, hard rugby league and rugby union fans, we want to watch the AFL. Well, we had Brisbane there, so it was our team. That was. I can't believe no one thinks about those sort of things. Like, crazy. Yeah, we want to support the Wallabies, but we also want to watch it's our biggest event. It's the highest rating. It was the highest rating thing on TV here in Australia. Was last week's grand final, and we're running an All Blacks Wallabies test, and I'm trying to watch two screens. It was horrendous.
I just, out of all
you feel for me.
Yeah, look, it was at 5 o'clock New Zealand time, which we've been screaming for afternoon rugby here, but then I'm in Hawaii at the time. Lucky me, but I'm going around bar. I'd gone to the same bar 2 days in a row and said, "Will you have the Bledisloe Cup test on?" Yes, will. Can I see it on a sheet? Yes, no, don't worry, I've got it. We've got it. I went back to that bar, of course. There were 25 screens. No. It was all AFL, mate. Every single I was in it. I went to 3 other bars after it. Finally, begged somebody to have you got a stream of this bloody game? And they put me in a little corner of my own little TV, and the rest of the crowd, all Australians, were all watching the grand final. There weren't even any sitting with me that were watching the All Blacks test. And so, I don't understand who makes these decisions, and why are you so arrogant or up your backside that you think that people are going to actually decide to watch that in Australia as opposed to the AFL Grand Final is an event in itself in Australia. Whether you like the sport or not, people are going to watch it, aren't they? That's what you're talking about.
Mate, I even watched the pre-match entertainment because of Snoop Dogg.
There you go.
I didn't know what he was up to. I don't understand Snoop Dogg, but anyway, it was a big one. And, of course, Brisbane Lions, this is the thing. In Brisbane, in Queensland, we do have a chip on our shoulder. You've witnessed that in State of Origin. But our Lions, the rest of the AFL, I know it's only a little game played in Australia, but it's enormous. We've now won 5 premierships this century, which is more than our, and all these stories. And you got to remember, there wasn't a Melbourne team in the grand final, and there was still 100,000 people there. Unless you've grown up with it, you don't understand the impact AFL has on Australia. It's extraordinary. I wish all those. I'll tell you what, if we didn't have AFL, I'd like to get rid of AFL and NRL. If we didn't have AFL, we would win. See, they're soccer players, just really big and powerful and tall soccer players. No one could out-head us. We'd win the Soccer World Cup if we didn't have AFL, because all those athletes would go and play soccer. We'd be magnificent. If we didn't have NRL, we'd win every World Cup in rugby. So we're wasting so many great athletes on these 2 little games that are only virtually played.
I remember when...
We're ridiculous, but you're not going to change it.
If my memory serves me correct, I remember when Brisbane won the Lions won their first one. They won 3 in a row, then they got to the grand final on the 4th one, I think, and they were going... And I always remember that guy, Akamakis or whatever, with his blonde hair. Was that his name? Jason? Was it Jason? Yeah. Okay, I always remember that. And there you go. Yeah. And then now you've won back-to-back again. So obviously the question is, is Brisbane just Lions crazy, or is Brisbane still Broncos crazy?
Still Broncos crazy. There was 8,000 people went to Suncorp Stadium yesterday to watch the Broncos train. to watch them train and to see Reece Walsh pull his pants down or whatever he was doing. Anyway, Brisbane's gone crazy. Look, we could win both premierships, and we have got the greatest chip on our shoulder, and we're just loving it. Brisbane's gone nuts this week. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
Well, you know how all year
it's just incredible.
We've been sitting there talking about painted fingernails and nightclub antics and all of that, and you're saying that, you know, Magic City is getting rid of all of that at the start of the year. Then you went through that patch where you lost 6 or 7 games in a row and it felt like the season was over. You've closed out 12-2, including the playoff games, and these 2 playoff victories, mate, have been extraordinary. I was obviously on holiday, but I made a point of watching these games. That game in Canberra where I thought Canberra had won it, then of course the video ref says, no, you haven't. And Ben Hunt, this could be the greatest redemption story in Australian sport. If this guy plays a major role and Brisbane win the NRL Grand Final after 10 years after dropping the ball versus the Cowboys, how extraordinary.
Right. And what a beautiful man. He's a good friend of our radio show, Marty. So we have him on with his croaky voice. We have him on. He's just a beaut, mate. He's 35 years of age. He hasn't had a major injury for ages. It'll be a great story of redemption. That's what rugby league's about, whether you're redeeming after having a cocaine crash, whatever you do. Rugby league forgives you for everything. So, and Ben Hunt, Brisbane's already forgiven him, I think. Because he copped all the flack there in 2015. So, yeah, it's a beautiful story. I got a mad feeling the Broncos are going to win this. The omens are there, the way they're playing. You know, there were a lot of complaints. Major's training is too hard at the start of the year, the spew bucket stories and all the rest of it. I don't know if you heard any of those. Oh, he's too tough on us. And that's exactly what the Broncos are stuck up, because they got a city of 2.5 million people who adore everything they do. So, of course, they're up themselves. So they needed somebody to have a military-style operation, and that was Madge, whereas Kevin Walters used to let him get away with anything. Whereas this bloke's nice and tough, and that's why you win games late, because they've got fitness and they know they've been through it.
All right, pick it then. If you have to pick one, Wallabies win and get it. Okay, and here's your perfect scenario. Wallabies win and win by enough points that if the Bledisloe Cup was decided on points differential, you would get it, and therefore you've got a moral victory or whatever you want to call it. Or the Broncos beat the Storm. You're only allowed to pick one.
Broncos beating the Storm is more important to me. I know that sounds weird, but there's always next year for the Wallabies. Broncos is more important. So, I know that's weird. I went to their first game in 1988. I've been a Broncos fan forever, despite the fact that my radio station wants me to support the Dolphins. I'm a Broncos
That's
fan.
right, yeah. All right, mate. Back to the gardening thing. So what is it? Is it a seed box or is it actually a veggie pod? What are you building?
Veggies. No, it's about 6 meters long by 1.5 meters wide. It's pretty mega, and I'm on a sand island, so I had to bring all the dirt over for it. And then my wife can have rocket and shallots and tomatoes and all those lovely things. There you are.
Okay. All right. Have a great weekend, mate. Thanks for joining us on holiday again. Let's talk next week.
DSPN.